I still remember that morning clearly. The air had a slight chill, the kind that hinted at autumn, even though it was late summer. It was our 10th wedding anniversary. 10 years. 10 years of shared apartments, road trips, arguments over trivial things, laughter, and nights spent whispering secrets only we knew. I had been looking forward to celebrating it for weeks. I had made reservations at our favorite restaurant, ordered a custom cake, and even planned a small surprise gift. I woke early, humming softly, imagining her smile when she saw the bouquet of roses I had carefully chosen. I texted her before leaving for work. "Happy anniversary, love. Can't wait to see you tonight." I got no reply. At first I assumed she was busy. Work days are hectic. That's normal. By 6 p.m., I was ready to leave the office, my heart racing with anticipation. I stepped outside into the warm evening air, checked my phone. Still nothing. Not a single text. I shrugged it off, thinking maybe she was wrapping up her day at the office. I arrived at the restaurant 20 minutes early. The maitre d' greeted me warmly. I confirmed our reservation, asking for our usual table by the window, where the evening sunlight would fall just right. I asked the maitre d' to let her know we were ready when she arrived. He nodded, smiled, and walked away. I waited and waited. 20 minutes, 40 minutes. Then I noticed her phone buzz on the table beside her purse. Odd. She hadn't arrived yet. Curiosity gnawed at me. I picked up the phone. I know, it was impulsive, but something inside me screamed. Screen unlocked. Messages. Conversations I wasn't supposed to see. There it was. A text from a man I didn't know well, though I had seen him at social gatherings a few times. "Can't wait to see you tonight. Our table at La Belle." My stomach dropped. I scrolled further. "I can't believe he thinks you're working late again. Perfect." Perfect. I froze. My mind refused to believe what I was seeing. My wife of 10 years, sitting at a table with someone else while pretending to me that she was busy with work. On our anniversary. Every memory I had of her, every shared moment flashed before my eyes. Birthdays, holidays, late-night drives, quiet mornings in bed. And now, all of it felt like a lie. I felt the restaurant spin slightly. The world narrowed to that screen in my hand, and the truth it revealed. But I didn't confront her immediately. Anger burned, yes, but I needed a plan. I needed to do this right. Revenge wasn't about yelling, it was about precision. I left the restaurant quietly, keeping her phone in my pocket. I didn't call her, I didn't send a message, I just drove. I drove through the city, my mind racing. First, I needed evidence. Hard evidence. I couldn't rely on intuition or screenshots alone. I called a private investigator, one I had used years ago for a business matter. I didn't give details, just the basics. Someone needed to confirm if my wife was dining with another man, using deception. The PI confirmed everything within hours. Photos, receipts, timestamps, everything. She had been there for nearly an hour by the time I left. I didn't call her that night. I went home. I opened our shared bank accounts, double-checked her spending. Small, discreet transfers. Dinners, gifts, hotel stays. I collected everything. The next morning, I made my move. I started with subtle exposure. Mutual friends began receiving anonymous tips, just enough to plant seeds. Screenshots of messages, proof of deceit. Nothing too obvious, nothing traceable back to me, but enough for her friends to notice. By midweek, she began panicking. Calls from friends, questions she couldn't answer. She tried to cover up with lies. I was working late, really. But the trail of evidence I had carefully laid out made every excuse crumble. Meanwhile, I built my final act of revenge. I arranged a dinner, at the same restaurant where she had been dining with him, invited the same mutual friends, subtly ensuring that they knew she had been dishonest. I didn't confront her directly at first. I watched her arrive, her eyes widening as she saw who was there, whispers following her every step. I stood calmly, greeting everyone. She approached, her face flushed. Why is everyone here?" she stammered. I smiled gently. "It's our anniversary," I said. I thought it would be nice to celebrate with the truth. I placed a small envelope in front of her. Inside, receipts, screenshots, photos, all documented evidence of her deceit. Everything from that dinner with the other man to the subtle lies she had told over weeks. She gasped. The color drained from her face. You've been... How did you... I prepared, I said calmly. You didn't consider that the truth has a way of coming out, especially when you try to hide it from someone who loves you. She couldn't speak. Her hands trembled. I looked around the table. Friends exchanged glances, some sympathetic, some shocked. The whispers were quiet but palpable. Then, I delivered the final blow. "I filed for divorce," I said softly, letting it hang in the air. The room went silent. She collapsed into her chair. tears streaming, not just from shame, but from the realization that the person she had betrayed, the person she thought she could deceive, had taken control entirely. I didn't shout. I didn't yell. I simply let the truth speak. Over the next few weeks, everything unraveled for her. The other man disappeared when he realized the scandal had leaked. Friends distanced themselves. The social circle she relied upon for support quietly shifted away. I moved out of the house calmly, keeping my dignity intact, securing my assets, and preparing for a fresh start. It was brutal, yes, but it was also necessary. Betrayal is painful, but what's worse is thinking someone is blind to it. I had the chance to explode, to rage, to make a scene. Instead, I used precision, patience, and evidence. The truth became my weapon. By the time the divorce was finalized, I had moved to a new city, new apartment, new routines, a new life free from lies. Anya, she learned the hard way that deceit has consequences, that no lie, no matter how small, remains hidden forever. And me? I learned that revenge doesn't always need anger. Sometimes, it's the quiet, calculated actions that echo the loudest. The anniversary, once a symbol of love, became the day I reclaimed my life, calmly, decisively, and without turning back.